I am actually a volunteer with an African-related NGO called African Views. We have what's called ECOSOC consultative status at the UN. We do quite a variety of different kinds of projects related to social research, community assessment, project development. We've also had numerous discussions that are then put on our website. I wanted to make a correction. The work on the water is actually separate from African Views, but I'll get to that in a minute. One of the programs that we will be doing in the next couple weeks is bringing many African kings and their cabinets to the UN to bring us together to partner for future projects. African Views was also hosted one of these online forums on Ebola last year, and so that's one side, that's African Views, and I am doing a couple of projects that are separate from African Views, but also to bring more peace and prosperity to Africa. One is I'm lobbying for there to be a sustainable water summit at the UN with emphasis on strategic desalination, especially for landlocked regions. What to do about a landlocked region that has, maybe questionable governance, also has drought, and we'll say, less means to create an infrastructure project. What kind of private sector investors would be able to invest in a project like that? And another part of that summit concept is education on the culture and philosophy of water, because if we'll be needing to implement these changes in how we use water, we need people to really understand why we need to do that. We need to make people inspired about water. And so another project that I'm doing I'm actually promoting what's called the TAP project. It's a Trans-Africa water pipeline that goes across the Sahel, desalinating from Mauritania all the way across the Sahel to Djibouti, and that's in the initial stages of it. But because this project crosses 8 different countries that each have water issues, where people will be forced to flee if they can't meet their needs, if they can no longer graze their animals. They will perhaps flee to another region that has just a little bit more, and so this creating this project, the TAP project, would allow jobs, agriculture security, bring more peace to the region, but also create a cohesion in working on a massive water infrastructure project like this that will also bring the region closer together. Let's see what else I want to say about this. This TAP water pipeline would also make possible something that's called La Muraille Verte in French, or the Great Green Wall, which is a 12 kilometer wide swath of territory that goes across the Sahel that would, basically it's to prevent desertification. I mean, like Libya, for example, it's 90% desert. So there's some regions that I don't know how much we're going to be able to influence what's happening with them. But this Great Green Wall project is well known, and the water pipeline would help to make that possible. And the water pipeline would actually make possible, I think it's like 15 of the Sustainable Development Goals. I mean, not entirely, but it would help with education. Obviously, it would help with access to clean water and sanitation for all, but also infrastructure, economy, so many things that are included in the SDGs. So I don't think I have too much more to say, but I'm very passionate about Africa. I speak French, and that made me much more interested in talking with all the beautiful African people I see every day when I walk down the street and at the UN and other meetings like this one. But I want to thank the gentleman. I just want to say thank you for having this meeting, and if I will have to leave in 30 minutes, so if you want to come give me a card before I have to go, that'd be most welcome. Thank you very much.
Stay there for a second.
Okay.
Thank you.